Hello, friends. Welcome to Squaird Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today I'll be creating a winter bucket list. I love adding a bit of seasonal decor to my planner, so let's get to it. And I've got this Happy Planner disc punch, along with some vinyl sticker sheets and some white cardstock, which I'll be using. So I went ahead and grabbed one of the icons from the printable I'll be using to make this cocoa cup shape. I'm going to cut it out now and use this as the front of my winter bucket list. I really liked how my Christmas bucket list came out when I did the snowman in the large die cut for my classic size planner, so I decided that I wanted to do something similar for my half letter Discbound, and saw that there were some icons on that sheet that I could pull out and enlarge to make a nice focal point for the front. So I have this cocoa cup and I'm just going to quickly fussy cut it so it looks nice and die cut. I just printed it onto my white cardstock, which I will have linked down below, as well as the printable that I am pulling this image from. And I'll just quickly use my precision cutter and my little cutting mat here to cut out the center where the mug handle is. And that worked out really nicely. Since it's printed, it was a bit curled, but just a little maneuvering really made that flatten out pretty easily. I was just deciding on how I wanted to orient this cup and was thinking I might cut the cup down and actually punch the left side, but decided that I'm going to straddle the spine with it just to get the most real estate out of this bucket list. So I'm going to cut it pretty much in half with the handle kind of sticking out a bit extra there. I just used my guillotine cutter for that to make it nice and straight. And now I'm going to punch it so, like I said, it will straddle the spine there using that Happy Planner punch I showed earlier. Since I am using a 8-disc planner, I definitely wanted it to be centered, so I was just kind of eyeballing it in the punch to see where best to punch through. So here is the actual printable that I pulled that cup from and that I'll be using for my bucket list items. And I printed that on the clear sticker paper, the vinyl sticker paper. I just got a Cricut for Christmas, but I haven't played around with it yet, so I'm just gonna hand cut these guys out, starting with the title here that says Winter Bucket List. Just trying to find a good home for it here on the front. And I don't want to misplace it, so we'll see how best to lay it in so it doesn't cover up anything important. And that was a little tight, so I'm going to go ahead and lay in bucket first and then winter on top just to get the spacing. And I like that. All being left justified kind of balances out the cup handle. Okay, so the reason I ended up purchasing these bucket lists, I have one for each season, including Christmas, which I just used, is because I really like that there are images that go with each of the bucket list items. That was always kind of a sticking point for me when I would be making my bucket lists, trying to find coordinating stickers or decor to match up with them. So I really like to have that visual as well. So this should be a pretty well-used printable for at least this year, if not into the future, because I really like I said, that everything has a item that corresponds to the bucket list task to do. So right now I'm just starting to cut things out. I did print the printable at 70% for my half letter size. I think for my classic I did 80 or 85. just to shrink them down a little bit to make sure they would fit within the page size, because I believe the actual printables are letter. So if you're doing this for a big or letter size planner, you could print it at size, but I would suggest scaling down the printables for smaller planners just so that you can get more in and have them be a little bit more compact. So right now I am really just trying to see what I have and where it might all fit. It definitely is more items than I can probably fit on this one backer. So we'll see. I may end up cutting out 1 or 2 of these items and not using them, but we'll see if I can get them all to fit before I start laying things in. And like I mentioned, I just got a Cricut for Christmas. I am excited to see what it can do. However, I just have not had the time. The learning curve of getting started with those kinds of products is a little bit large, and it's a busy time of year, as you guys know. Planner season is upon us. So I hope in January I'll get a chance to really play around with it, and then maybe when I do my spring bucket list, I'll have a way to have this cut by the Cricut and I won't have to do it by hand. Just playing around with the positioning of things and also kind of the color too. I want to make sure the colors are nice and mixed up. I've got 2 here that I'm trying to make fit. One is making paper snowflakes. I don't think I'm going to actually do that, but I'll try to fit it in there in the corner. And the other one I have on the side there is to go ice skating, and then light a winter candle too is also off to the side. Lighting the candle I think I can do, so I'll definitely try to fit that in. Maybe skating, although that's unlikely. Some of these are pretty fun, but yeah, some of them may not end up happening. I do like having a bit of variety with my bucket list too, because you never know what you might want to do. And these ones are all pretty fun and really good if you have kids, I think, for some of these. So just trying to fit stuff in. I am trimming some of these down a little bit to give myself as much room as possible to have them layered in. I think we're probably about as close as we're going to get here. Trying to work in that snowflake one, but we will see. Let me start dropping in what I think will fit. Do you guys like to do seasonal bucket lists in your planners? I think it's just a fun way to kind of keep life interesting and give you ideas for things to do that are out of the ordinary on a seasonal basis. That's helpful for me since we do not have kids, and so having some time doing something a bit different is nice because we do get kind of in a routine. That's why I really do like bucket lists. They push my funness up a little bit, I guess, or the activities that I like to do out of the norm. And I'm sure somebody's going to ask, I'll try to include it down in the description below. I use a color laser printer for my printables. If you have an inkjet printer, you should be able to do this just fine, but just make sure you're getting the right vinyl for your type of printer. I will link both down below of the types that I am using, one for inkjet and one for laser, in case you have one or the other. And doing a bit of puzzle piecing here, trying to fit everything in. It's pretty tight right here, and I do want to have the prompts next to the items, but it is just not cooperating well, I guess. I'm going to be layering up quite a few prompts here just so I can fit those images right next to each other. I do like this large, simple image of the cocoa mug. I think that's going to just bring a little bit of joy to my planner throughout the winter season, and also probably get me thinking about having a cup of hot cocoa. So we've done the right side actually, and so we're moving on to the left. And I'm just going to, again, kind of piece this together and get things to fit where I can. Winter kind of gets abbreviated, I feel like, too, because of the Christmas holiday season. I'll probably use this through January into February, and then by March, I'll be ready for my spring bucket list. One thing that was really nice is that on this cardstock, I was able to move those vinyl stickers pretty easily. There wasn't a lot of like pulling up of any of the page or anything, so it was really nice to be able to move things around. I did drop in that snowflake and just decided not to add the prompt because, like I said, I'm probably not going to do it anyway, but it helped fill that little corner there. And that's probably going to do it for us, friends. I might add a little bit of extra to the bucket list words with my white gel pen just to give it a little bit of flair. But other than that, we are done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye.